Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your trooper, Big Lou. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. This is At Ease. It's a show for all veterans, no matter your rank, no matter your branch. It's a place that we can all come together and share our crazy and funny stories of when we served our time in the military. At Ease. Welcome, everybody, to episode 1 of At Ease. Front lean, no rest. On today's episode, first of all, let me not be rude. I am your host, Trooper Big Luke. I am here to tell you my crazy, fun, and sometimes wild stories of when I served in the U.S. military. And I'm inviting you to do the same thing. Make sure you email the show, let me know your story, or say, hey, Big Luke, I want to share my stories. I want to share my fun times and my crazy times in the military. I welcome that. No matter your branch, get at me, email me, reach out to me on social media platforms, and I will make sure that you get your story shared on At Ease. I want to develop a community where we can come together and laugh and joke about the time that we serve. Because we put our time in, and I feel like it's therapy. It's therapy for us when we talk about the good times, crazy, wild times. So that's what this is. This is At Ease. This is what the show is about. So make sure you chime in and so I can hear your stories too. Now, today episode 1, front lean, no rest. Now, front lean and rest position is the position that you get in when you get ready to start to do push-ups. This is a common terminology that they use in the military when we're getting ready to do push-ups for something that we did wrong, something that we did that they deemed to be stupid, or something sometimes that we did right. It just punish you anyway. So I'm going to give you 3 different scenarios where I was put in the front leaning rest position while I was serving my time in the military. Now, we're still in basic training as far as I'm concerned. I'm still telling my stories from basic because it was crazy. If you watched episode 0, you learn that I was the son of a drill sergeant and one of his privates became my drill sergeant. And it was just crazy after that. But this episode, front lean, no rest. Example number 1, it's there were 3 areas that you can hang out with when it comes to these passes that we get on the weekend. First is your brigade pass. Now, when I say brigade pass, that's where your company was, wherever your company was, you had your small facilities. You had small, little PX or a little shop, a barbershop, a little bowling alley, all the things that was, in the vicinity of where you live in the barracks. So they call that a brigade pass or your company pass. You could go get some snacks, go to the places in the area. That was number 1. Number 2 was your post pass. Now the post pass, you're able to go, old main post. You could go to the BX, you could go to the commissary, the Burger Kings and all that. Although they warn you to stay away from that stuff, you could go those places. You could hang out on the post. And then you had an off post pass. Now, an off post pass, normally you don't see that until it's almost time for you, to graduate, or depending on how good your company was, sometimes you'll get awarded an off post pass. Now, an off post pass was different because you only had a certain amount of time it was in a certain radius. And if you had loved ones or someone that you live in the area, they could sign for you and be responsible for you while you're on your post pass. And they have a certain amount of time on Sunday to bring you back because they have formation to have accountability for everybody. Now, this has nothing to do with front lean and rest, but I had to make that, I felt like I needed to discuss that so y'all can know the three different passes that we could get. Now, at this particular time, we were awarded a post pass. So, before they would let us go and, live our little, what we thought was freedom, they would give us a safety briefing, meaning that our drill sergeant or senior drill, or maybe sometimes the brass would come and they would give us the do's and don'ts on how soldiers are supposed to act and what to be safe from, what to look out for. They took it very seriously. This was very important. I was amazed at this plane flying by. It was awesome. Had the jet trails and everything. Awesome. So when I looked back down, I looked directly at Senior Drill. And he was like, "You, what are you doing? What are you doing? Eyes forward." So I did that, eyes forward. So he finished with his safety briefing. And, he got us to attention, fall out. And then you go on about your business. You go get ready to go have some fun or wherever. You were free. So I go upstairs, change, I think I'm finna go to the bowling alley or something, unwind, get back to my civilian ways. So on my way out the barracks, I get stopped by the senior drill. And he was like, "Private Williams, it seems like something else had your attention while I was giving out this important information during my safety briefing. I feel kind of disrespected that you would do such a thing because I'm giving you very important information and I'm giving you key places where you need to stay away from while you're here or while you out there. I'm giving you all the things that you need to know. And you felt like that was not important for you. You felt like that plane that was flying over was more important. So what branch are you in, Private Williams? Senior drill? I am in the United States Army. Oh, you're in the Army, you say? Well, if you're in the Army, we don't fly. We don't fly. But yet and still, you took it upon yourself to think that watching the plane go by was more important. You had the perfect opportunity to join the Air Force. Should have did as such, but you didn't. You're in the Army. So I feel disrespected that you weren't paying attention to me and you was watching this plane fly over the horizon. So this is what you're going to do, Private Williams. What I need you to do is I need you to go right outside in front of the barracks, get in the front lean and rest position. You didn't tell me to do any push-ups. I didn't have to do any push-ups. I just had to get in the front lean and rest position, to ready to push-up position when you're ready to do your push-ups. And the only time I was allowed to get up is when a plane flew by the horizon. So for 3 hours, I would get down in the front lean and rest position. And the only time I was allowed to get up is when the plane go by. So I was allowed to stand up and watch the plane fly across the horizon. Once the plane got out of my sight, back into the front lean and rest position. So I'm back in the push-up position. Now, mind you, while this is going on, there are, there are Joe's servicemen, I should say, soldiers, going back and forth in the barracks. They're free. They're doing whatever, and as they're walking back, they're looking at me crazy, like, what did you do? What you doing? Couldn't say nothing. My job was to stay in the front in the rest position. And when a plane came by, I was allowed to get up, stand at attention, and watch that plane fly by. And once it got out of my sight, back to the front leaning rest position I went. And they was like, dang, Will, you always in trouble. I mean, I just, glanced at the plane and got distracted. And that's what led to, you know, I I got to pass, they let me go somewhere afterwards, but for 3 hours, and I was only able to get a break when a plane flew by. Crazy. Yes. Terrible, not so much. Hard, absolutely. I didn't do any push-ups. I just stayed in the front leaning rest position. And of course, when nobody's looking, you try to put a knee down or whatever. But if I got caught putting that knee down during the front leaning rest position, that was another hour at it. That's how I ended up getting 3 hours. Because I got caught twice. But anyway, yeah. So I did get to enjoy myself after those 3 hours of torture. But I won't say torture. I'll say it was on me. That was my fault because I should have been paying attention instead of looking at a plane go by. So that's scenario number one of front lean and rest position. Scenario number two of the front lean, no rest. Number two, every morning at A.I.T, we was in A.I.T, of course, and every morning we would march to class. So we're marching to class, we're singing our cadence, singing our songs. Everything was fine. So as we're marching, we had a particular drill sergeant, won't say his name to protect the innocent and the guilty. I won't say his name. All I can say is his English was not very good. English wasn't very good. And we were fine. We were fine. We're marching, we're on cue, you know, nine to the front, six to the rear, everybody is step, line is squared away, immaculate. We're in our zone, we're moving, we're grooving. But because his English was broken, when he would say your left, your right, now pick up the step. Your left, your right, your left. That's how it was done. But he had broken English. So when he says your left, your right, now pick up of the step. Pick up the step. Or that's what we heard. He was saying pick up the step, but it just came out pick up with your step. And him saying pick up with your step would throw the entire platoon off because of that one extra syllable. Because we're marching to the beat of the cadence, right? Your left, your right, now pick up step, your left, your right, your left. Hey, but with this particular drill sergeant, everything was fine. Your left, your left, right, left, your right, now pick up the step better. So we trying to like get in the groove and it would fuck us up every time. It'll fuck us up every time. So of course, I'm the son of a drill sergeant. So I know how it goes. I know all the cadence. My dad used to sing them to me all the time. He used to have me marching in the backyard. That's another story. But we were fine. But every time we get to that part, your left, your right, now pick up with this step, total chaos. So me, I looked over at him like, what's going on? You keep messing this up. He didn't think he was doing anything wrong. Why are you guys off step? I do not understand why you're out of step. Because you're fucking the cadence up. That's why we're off step. So I look at him like, bruh, what you doing? Happened to me again. He looked at me. You, what are you looking at? Why are you looking at me? You're supposed to have eyes forward. I tell you what, you get out of formation. Run, run, run 10 meters in front of us. Get in front lead rest position. We'll be pass you by. You get up, rejoin us. I'm like, and I'm still looking at him because I'm trying to, first of all, figure out what he's saying. And number two, I'm trying to decipher why. Why? All I did was look over to make sure you was all right. So, so what I had to do while we're marching, when he looks at me, I break ranks, run, I say about 20, 20, 30 yards in front of the formation, get in the front lean and rest position, right? When they march by, then I get to get up, get back in formation. but but what I think he knew why I was looking at him like that. Because every time he would get to the pickup with the step, that's when he would say, "You go and run." He would tell me to go and run ahead because he knew he knew what I was thinking by the way I was looking at him. So that was my punishment. What's this private doing trying to check me on my cadence call? So I did that all the way to school. Our school was about 2 miles away, I'd say. About 2, 3 miles. Well, yeah, about 2 miles away. And I had to do that. And the only time I had to do that was when he would march us to school, because he was the only one that had the broken English, so it would always screw us up on that part. So I had to do that all the way to school every day. Well, not every day, every time that this drill sergeant took us to school. So that is scenario two. A front lean, no rest. There was no rest, because every time he pick up with this Williams, go, he would just say go. So I had to run my ass about 20 yards, just in the front lean. Now, mind you guys, I didn't have to do push-ups. Didn't have to do push-ups. He just had me in the push-up position until they passed by. And once they passed by me, then I could get up and rejoin the formation. So that was exhibit two of front lean, no rest, part three. This is the third front lean, no rest scenario that I had to do while I was in A.I.T, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I'll say where. I just won't say who. Some of these guys are still out here. Some of them I still come in contact with, so I gotta be careful. But scenario three, front lean, no rest. Okay, this particular time, post pass. No, off post pass. That's the holy grail where you get to go and be with the civilians, you know, get to hang out, you know, go to the mall. There were certain areas, you only had a certain radius that you could go. At the time, my older brother, he stayed by Fort Jackson. He was probably maybe 4 or 5 miles away, you know, from the post. So my brother would come and, sign for me so that I could go and I would be at his house and then I wouldn't have to return, until I think we had a 5 o'clock evening formation where they made accountability of everybody. So my brother would come pick me up. Standard operating procedure. Now, back when I was when you got a off post pass, you had to wear your class A's when you stepped out on the town, so people to know. It was just, and then that was another way for the MPs and the guardians to keep up with you or to keep an eye on you while you was out to make sure you wasn't doing no dumb shit. No, mostly they was in the mall, you know, and of course we would go buy civilian clothes, put that stuff on so we could look like regular people. Now, we could tend to get away with it a little bit, not so much because you could tell the truth. You can tell the truth when you see him. Clean cut, spent head, high and tight. You know him. So what we would do is when we get post passes, me and my buddies, we would practice not responding when they say, "Hey, private," because they know that's if they say that, especially somebody that's in training, they're going to respond to it. They're going to look. So that's how they would normally catch people in their civilian attire when they're in the malls or they just hang out in the mall, and they be leaning up somewhere and somebody walk by that, dress like a civilian, but still, you still look like clean cut military pride. So they were like, hey, pride. I mean, and that's how they got caught. Look back to the base, all the posts rather. No more all post passes. Supposed to be in your dress greens when you're out and about. So in this scenario, your brother comes, signs for me, we go back to his house, put my regular clothes on, jump in his ride, riding around, riding around Fort Jackson, South Carolina, trying to see what it do, where it's shaking and where it's baking at, where everything, what's going on. I want to be a part of some civilian life. I get a couple of hours to be a civilian. What's popping? So, I get a chance. I did it all. Went to the park, went to the local hangout, went to the pool hall, all that stuff. Got to do all that stuff. Got to hang out, had some fun, had lots of fun. But it just so happens when I go to the park, I'm hanging out in my brother's whip, riding around, everybody's liking his whip. He had a nice car at the time. So I'm riding around in the car, I got my hat on low, got my hip hop look. Because if I look hip hop, then I look like I'm from somebody that's there. I don't look like a private that's in the military trying to fake it. So I'm riding around in the park, I got his beats on, everything's cool. So I'm driving through the park, slow rolling, saying hi to the ladies, you know, buffed up, oiled up, buffed up. I'm good to go, body right, atmosphere right, riding in my brother's car. He got the rails, he's got the sound system in there, I'm a regular civilian. So I'm riding through the park, driving, cruising, hollering at chicks. So it was this one in particular that caught my eye. So, I roll through the park, I pull up to her, speak to her, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. We're running it with each other. And I was, so I asked her her name. She told me her name. Everything was cool. We was kicking it. Come to find out that the shorty back then, dating myself, shorty I was trying to holler at, guess what, y'all? She was the senior drill sergeant of Charlie Company. Now, we was a co-ed, it was a co-ed post at Fort Jackson. Yeah, Alpha Bravo, men. Charlie, female. Delta Echo, men. Foxtrot, female. Co-ed. Never seen him. Never seen him. Even though they were two buildings away, there were certain times where they did things and where we did things to where, we would see each other, when we were on our, brigade pass, post pass or whatever. But we wouldn't see them during training. The times were very different. So not only was the lady I was, kicking it with, not only was she in the military, she was one of the senior drills of Charlie Company. So, so, we had fun, we kicked it, everything was cool. Played it off real good, since my brother stayed there, picked up on the slang, down pat, riding in his whip. But unbeknownst to me, my brother has a post sticker on his car, which really doesn't mean anything. It just means that you have access to the post as a civilian, thanks to Pops. So get back, everything's good. We kick it, whatever. Had a great time, awesome time. Rode around in the whip. You know, sounds banging, rim shining. I got this nice looking lady with me. It couldn't have been better. Couldn't have went no better than it did that weekend. Everything was great. Had a great time. Kicked it. Went back 5 o'clock Sunday information. They do accountability. Everything's cool. So we fall out. On my way in the barracks, I see this female drill sergeant walking towards our company. And I'm looking and I'm like, man, she kind of look familiar. She kind of look familiar. But they're totally different. You're totally different when you're outside your uniform. Totally different. So she walks up as we're falling out of formation. She was I guess she knew one of the one of our drill sergeants that was at our company. I was in Bravo company. So I guess she knew one of the drill sergeants, or or they was just, you know, shooting the shit or whatever. And she looks at me, and I'm looking at her, and she does one of these numbers as I'm walking by. She was like, "Come here, private." So I walk up there, and I just got a chance to like look at her, and I was like, "Oh shit! Oh man, ain't no way, ain't no way." But it was the girl I was kicking it with the park. The girl I was kicking it with at the park was the senior drill sergeant of Charlie Company. She was like, "Come here, private. Don't I know you from somewhere?" Now the cool, now okay, well I'm gonna keep on going with it. I'm not gonna give it away. Don't I know you from somewhere? I was like, I don't know, drill sergeant. I don't think so. He said, "Are you sure I haven't seen you somewhere?" Like, yes, drill sergeant. I'm sure that you haven't seen me. Knowing in my mind that this, knowing in my mind that this is the exact same chick I was kicking it with in the park. No, drill sergeant. I don't think you know me. She was like, I think I've seen you somewhere before. Now, mind you, she never said, she didn't rat me out. In other words, in front of the other drill sergeant, she didn't rat me out. She kept it cool. Like, you just look familiar. You look like somebody that I've seen, you know, outside the post. It's like I don't think that was me, drill sergeant. But she knew the whole time it was me. But she played it off in front of my drills. So after that, the next morning, chow time, you know, back to that whole scenario with drill sergeant cousins. I did that every day. That's episode 0. Go back and watch episode 0, and you'll get the story about cousins and this whole mess hall thing. So she comes, you know, because once we get through eating, we stand in formation until everybody's done. Drill sergeants come, and then we go on about our business. So I'm just standing outside, you know, chilling with the rest of the troops. She comes out there. She was like, "Private Williams, I talk to you for a minute." I was like, "Shit." So, yes, you're sorry. So I run up there, I run up to her, get that parade rest. Thing I'm supposed to do. She was like, she leaned in and she got in my ear. She was like, "No, that was you. That was at that park the other day. We was kicking it. Yeah, I remember you. So what I need you to do is I need you to come see me by your barracks when y'all get through with child. I'll be there waiting." I was like, "Oh shit. She gonna rat me out. Gonna be chaos." So get everybody together. We go back to our barracks after chow. And like she said, she was there waiting for me. So get there, we fall out, everybody goes in the barracks. "Hold on, Private Williams. We need to have a conversation." So she leaned, I'm at that parade where she needed my ear. She was like, "Okay, this is how this gonna go down. Every time you see me, I need you to get in the front leaning rest position. And when I tell you you can get up, you get up. But when I tell you to go, you get in the front leaning rest position." I was like, "Shh." But the whole time she never told my drills about that. But punishment was, and she did it every day. She'd come to Bravo Company and she would wait good until we out of formation. And she would walk up and front lean, no rest. I think I did that maybe 100 times while I was at A.I.T because every time I saw her, I had to get in the front lean rest position. Did we date? No. No, that was the only time. We did have a good time when we was at the park, kept it cordial, first time, you got to get to know each other, all that, blah, blah, blah. But every time I saw her, regardless of when I saw her, regardless of where I was, if I see her, I had to get out in the front lean rest position. And she did that the entirety of A.I.T. My whole time in A.I.T. I can't quite remember how many weeks it was. It was a long time ago. I checked the records. But every time I saw her, and I seen her a lot because she was only she was only a building away. So she made sure that, she saw me. And every time I saw her, get in front lean and rest position. It would be times where, she would taunt me because I'd be in the front lean and rest position and she would kneel down right in front of me. And she was like, you know what, Private Williams? I ain't gonna, I've never admitted this to a private, but you good. You good. You had me fooled. I thought you was a regular civilian. You had the lingo down and everything. If I had known that you was a private, I would have smoked your ass right there in front of all them people, right there in the park. Then I would have came back and let your drill sergeants and everything know. But we had a good time, and you was a gentleman. That's the only reason why I didn't rat you out. But every time you see me, we're gonna get in the front lane in rest position. And I hope and I pray that'll be the last time that I see you outside of the post with your civilian clothes on. It's like, yes, you're sorry. She's like, okay, you can get up now. So I get up, go on by my way. But that's it, y'all. Three scenarios of the front lean, no rest. Now, this is a time where I reach out to you guys. If y'all have a crazy story, funny story, any type of story of your experience in the military, be it basic training, A.I.T, regular, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter when, doesn't matter what rank you had or what you was. It's just my funniest experiences was mostly in basic training at A.I.T because of who I was and who my dad was. But yes, every time I saw her, every day, she walked, come up to me, front lean and rest. We never dated. That was the first and the last time we interact, you know. But yeah, that's my story, y'all. Front lean, no rest. I'd like to thank all of you for joining me on episode 1 of At Ease. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. And like I said at the beginning, if you have crazy stories, funny stories, any of that while you were in the military, please email me. Emails down below. Reach out to me. Reach out to me. Let me know. Say, hey, Big Lou, I got a story to tell. It's batshit crazy, funny as hell. I want to know because I want to start a community of us where we get a chance to laugh and enjoy the times that we were in the military. No matter your rank, no matter your branch, reach out to me. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Reserve, Coast Guard, doesn't matter. Hell, even if you're a fireman or a police officer, you can get in on it too. But it's mainly my military family, and you all are my family. And so let's congregate. Let's get together, reach out to me, email me, reach out to the channel. Link will be in the description. And let's grow this community, y'all. Let's make this a thing where we can laugh and have fun with each other and congregate because those were special times in our life. And I just want to key in on the good times, the funny times, the silly things, the crazy things that you done. And let's talk about it. Let's laugh about it. Let's have some fun. Thank everyone for tuning in. This was episode 1. Front lean, no rest. Oh yeah, the reason why I don't have the drill sergeant hat is because it kept fading in and out with the Zoom backgrounds. You know how it is. So I had to put the Scully on today. It's all right. It'll probably be back next episode. We'll figure it out. But thank you all tuning in to At Ease. I'm your host, your trooper, Big Lou. At ease. Enjoy yourself. Love everyone. See you next episode. What it's going to be, don't know yet. We'll figure it out. This is At Ease. Peace.